Okay, so I've got some good news and some bad news. So the good news is that I've finally managed to track down the right size rivet heads. Um, so just basically going around B&Q, looking at the collection of rivets they had with my trusty micrometer. Basically, picked up a couple of packets of these by Mac Allister, and just putting my micrometer over these ones in this section. Basically, I needed a 7mm rivet head, and I worked that out by looking at the picture, which is over here, and working it out. So with my dash system, so basically, if that is a dash, if the width of that rivet is a dash, and you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 dashes that go right across a slat, you can work out that it's probably going to be about 7mm. So from that, just going around B&Q measuring what they got in stock, and managed to track down these rivets, and they're quite easy to dismantle. So you can just applying some basic pressure, I can get them taken apart, and basically have them just fitted into my slats. So that's all good. That's one less headache. So that's the good news. The bad news is I've totally cocked up the measurements and made my slats too long. So I failed to realize when I was looking at the Dalek plans here that the slats are 216mm long, and for some reason in my brain I thought that was 260mm, so I've made all my slats way too long. They're 260mm too long. So basically this line here indicates how much of a cock up I've done. So they've actually made them way too long, and I only realized that when, I don't know, I think because I was flapping around with the rivets and stuff and looking at the slats, and then starting to realize that the short slats were kind of way too short, or the long slats were way too long, and I was looking at the pictures, and I was going a bit crazy looking at the slats and going, this can't be right. Surely the Project Dalek website couldn't get something like that wrong. So I think I spent 2 hours looking at lots of pictures of slats before I started to realize that maybe I'd cocked up my measurements, and that's essentially what happened. But saying that, I looked at this picture, and although, I mean, this is a pretty good side-on picture of a movie Dalek, and I can guesstimate from some of these dimensions, I mean, we know that hemispheres are 4 inches. I know that this is 4 inches, and I've worked out that this is 8.5 inches, and it corresponds with Project Dalek's measurements, which are essentially the same, 260mm, which is 8.5 inches. The only thing I'm not quite sure about is the shorter slat, and I'm still a bit kind of fuzzy about the actual length of that. It could be what Project Dalek says it is, but I'm not quite sure. It doesn't seem to bear out when I'm looking at this picture for some reason, and it seems a little bit shorter, but I don't know if it's a perspective thing or not. But anyway, that's the bad news anyway. So I just need to, fortunately I've cut them too long, so it doesn't mean I've cut them too short. So although I did cock up and made this one too short, I did cut that to 8 inches, because for some reason I thought it was 8 inches long and actually it's 8.5 inches. So I've gone a bit nuts trying to figure out some measurements here. So anyway, yeah, I just gotta cut these to the right length, and then I've got to think about. I already cut this one slightly shorter. That's the actual length it's supposed to be, apparently. But this is the length that it is in this picture, which is why I'm confused, because I'm looking at this picture of the short slats, and they look about this height, which is slightly, it's about, I don't know, it's less than a centimeter shorter, or whatever. I don't know if it really matters. I don't know. So I'm agonizing over little things like that when the world is in turmoil and children are starving in Africa or whatever. Anyway, so I'm just going to cut these slats shorter and then worry about what I'm going to do later after dinner, I guess.